Liberal CNN once again mocking America's massive crime wave and claiming the surge in violence is totally being overblown.
You get the sense that America's gone to hell, declining quality of life. America as an apocalyptic hellscape. Yes, there is a crime problem, but the way it's described on Fox, you'd be afraid to leave your house.
I kind of think of it as a Instagram filter, Brian. You know, you start with a real image, and then you take the filter and you pump it up 1,000%. And what you're left with is distorted. It no longer reflects reality.
The goal of this kind of coverage is to freak people out, to cause them to live in fear.
CNN might be the only ones to find that funny because 81% of voters are extremely or very concerned about higher crime rates in this latest Fox News poll. Carjackings are soaring by over 500% in major cities, while 16 cities hit record homicides in 2021. And in Baltimore, homicides are now the leading cause for unexpected childhood deaths. What do you think the strategy was behind that segment, Greg?
I don't know. It's strange. It's got to be gross to work at CNN where all you do is you push these elaborate hoaxes while denying actual human suffering, right? They spent years pushing this elaborate Russian hoax, trying to scare people that the Republican is in danger, but yet they literally laugh about crime. People ask me, why do I constantly point out how fat Brian Stelter is, how fat and bald and homely he is? And I always tell you that no insult is worse than their ideas. As long as they mocked the black on black crime and the death in the streets, which there is tape of Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo laughing about it, as long as they believed that and got a pass on it, then everything is on the table. You can make fun of them about anything, right? So they chose this hill to die on while cops and civilians are literally dying. I wonder how security can work at CNN and have to be around these people. I mean, these are actual crime deniers. They helped build the anti-cop narrative for I don't know how many years. So to answer your question, their ratings are dying. The narrative is antithetical to what Americans believe. This is not a network interested in the American viewer anymore. This is a curated propaganda machine to put out segments to other areas, whether it's social media, to be retweeted that are specifically anti-American views. This is not a network. I don't even know how they get advertisers at this point. It's so embarrassing. They have producers that are being accused of alleged pedophilia. I mean, how do they? I think that's the other thing, too, is this is a distraction because they're in such sorry shape.
Yeah, so they don't have anything to talk about because it's not a lot of good news. Are they just trying to put stuff out there for controversy, do you think? Because that's just stupid.
It is weird to program a segment just to try to get back at the five. I mean, that is a strange way to program. I would say that the one thing about is matching the mood, right? Yeah. So I do the morning show now, 9 to 11 a.m., so I see a lot of the other morning network shows, and they are starting to lead with the story of the day, and guess what that is? Crime. It is crime. Yeah. And when it's being asked about at the White House, and not just by Fox News, the one thing I feel like the White House does and that the president is not doing, that you need to match the moment and the mood of the country. And if you're not, then you're going to get polls that show that only a third of the country think that you care about the issues they're focused on. And that's what those polls were showing last week. The other thing is that if you look at CNN's own polling on immigration and crime and inflation, if the execs aren't sharing CNN's own polling with CNN's media reporting team, they maybe should break down that wall because their own polling is showing that it's a problem.
And I assume that these guys work out of New York City, right? That's where they work out of.
But they don't leave the apartment.
Do they see the local news? Do they read the Post, the Daily News? Are they absorbing any of the actual crime that's happening in their own neighborhoods, do you think?
I'm
looking at you, Harold.
Talking to you.
Denial does not wear well. Mm-hmm. And as I listen to them, I can understand if you're trying to make a point that crime, that some numbers are down and some numbers are up, or trying to explain that maybe the way this is being presented is being interpreted wrong. But they didn't do that. They didn't say that crime is down here or people are looking at this the wrong way. It strikes me as a group of people, and this is not meant to malign CNN as much as those who literally tried to present that crime is not somehow another bad thing. Where do you live, to your point? Are you in a neighborhood where you don't go out, or there's nothing happening, or you have a security team around you, that's one thing. But if you live in a neighborhood, which is most neighborhoods, unfortunately, in New York City today, you're watching where you're going. I don't take the subway any longer. I used to take the subway. I don't take the subway because I'm concerned about my safety. I won't go near a subway stop with my kids because I don't want to be confronted and have to try to defend or do something that would put them in danger or myself in danger. So those who want to do stages like that or do presentations like that, have a reason for doing it. If your reason is to just get back at someone or a show or network, you're not serving the people who watch your network and the people who are in danger every day and every night in our city, and for that matter, across the country. Many of them who are probably watching that network.
Yeah, maybe some gullible person's watching CNN and they, la-di-da, they walk out, they're not looking around. They do have to do a public service.
Well, look, here's the thing. The media is the megaphone for the Democrats. All right. So even though they know 81% of the American public is concerned about crime, they want to tell you that it's not a problem.
So it's spin.
And so it is spin. Clearly it's spin. But their naivete, unless they're lying hypocrites, and you pick the whatever you want, is really it's gainsayed by the fact that you've got 5 cops who've already been shot in New York City, and we're still in January of this year. You've got kids, an 11-month-old girl who got shot in the face. You know, kids go to sleep in their own beds these days and in their own homes, in their own bedrooms, and they end up getting shot in their own beds. I mean, if these people can't see what is going on in the inner city, in the gangs that are controlling the streets, if they can't see what's going on in the subways where women are being openly raped and all of that horrific stuff that's going on, well, then you know what? They're just stupid. You're stupid.
It's elitist. It's elitist is what it is. It's elitist is what it is.
Do you remember Stelter was mad once because they removed a trash can outside of his apartment? Do you remember that? That was his, like, oh my God, that was the crime for him, is there wasn't a place to throw away the Twinkie wrapper.
Oh, Greg. So mean.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.